Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Hiba and I'm a third year medical student at the University of Manchester. In this video, I'm going to be sharing with you my personal statement that got me 4 medicine offers, and I'm going to be sharing with you tips on what you should include in a good personal statement to help you be successful with your medical school application. So I know it's been ages since I uploaded a video. I'm really sorry about that. First I was moving houses, then I had winter exams, then we had mocks, then we had summer exams, but I'm back now and I'm going to be uploading as consistently as possible, so please subscribe to the channel and like this video as well. Also, if there's anything in particular that you'd like to see for any upcoming videos, then please do let me know. At the moment I'm just going to make videos on what I think is going to be helpful for you. But if there's anything in particular that you think is going to be helpful, then please let me know and I'll surely do a video on that as well. So since it's around that time of year when people are writing their personal statements and getting ready to submit their UCAS applications, I'm going to be doing a video in which I'm going to share my personal statement. This personal statement got me 4 interviews at Manchester, Liverpool, Hull York and Birmingham. Obviously there are other things that goes into getting an interview at a medical school, but of course a personal statement and a good personal statement is a really important part of that, and there's no UCAS application that's complete without a personal statement. So I had actually written my personal statement on my old laptop which broke down, and when the laptop broke down I was really upset about it because obviously it took me ages to write that personal statement. I really wanted to keep it. It could have helped many other people. So yeah, I was a bit gutted about that. Then a couple of years later I realised, hold on a second, what if I tried to log into UCAS Track and see if my personal statement is still there? Because even though I lost all the documents on my laptop, I did upload my personal statement to UCAS. So technically if it lets me log in, it should still be there on the website. And so a couple of years after, I logged into UCAS Track, and it actually still was there. So I was really pleased about that. I was really pleasantly surprised, and I took a screenshot of it and I kept it and I've saved it like that ever since. So I'm literally going to be sharing my personal statement with you as I uploaded it to UCAS, and literally haven't made any changes, haven't edited anything out. It's exactly how I sent it off to universities. I have retyped it out just to make it easier to read, and I separated it out into the paragraphs. But as you can see from the screenshots, it's exactly the same as I uploaded. Just before we get into it, I did want to say, obviously just for your benefit, I'd probably not copy anything like word for word. Obviously it's been ages since I applied, so I don't think I'm really going to be getting into any trouble if you guys use my statement, so I'm not really worried about that. I'm just worried about yourselves because obviously you are still just going through the application process. I don't want anyone to be told that they're plagiarizing or anything like that. But I am obviously sharing my statement with you because I want it to help you. So feel free to use any bits, just remember to put it into your own words, because of course it is a personal statement at the end of the day. And if you can put it into your own words and make it something personal to you, then of course your personal statement will stand out a lot more that way, rather than having everyone just writing the same things. I'm also going to be sharing lots of information about things I think you should include that are really good to make sure that you have. So hopefully this is going to be a really useful video. So the way I'm going to do this is I'm going to read out a paragraph, and then I'm going to talk through any key points in that paragraph and why I've included certain things in certain areas. So this is how the personal statement begins. People say I have a natural aptitude for science and a flair for working with people. My deep-seated ambition to help to improve the quality of life for people is a trait that lies at the heart of medical practice. These elements, coupled with my interest in exploring human phenomena, are what led me to a career in medicine. The intellectually stimulating nature of this dynamic profession, in which a lot is yet to be discovered, is one that few others offer, and I relish the chance to use my problem-solving skills for the welfare of others. So your first paragraph is going to be about why you've chosen medicine as a career, starting to get into why you think you're suited for medicine. You're just going to want to have a few sentences about why you've chosen medicine as a career and what about medicine attracts you to it. So where it says people say I have a natural aptitude for science, I actually initially wrote that I have a natural aptitude for science, and this was my tutor in college who asked me to change that and write people say I have a natural aptitude for science. The reason she told me to write this is because, in her words, it makes it sound less like I'm just complimenting myself and more like my love for science is something that is seen by other people and is recognized by other people, not just something I say about myself. So something that kind of is well known about me. So that's kind of why I wrote people say I have an aptitude for science rather than I have a natural aptitude for science. So in the next sentence, I say my deep-seated ambition to help improve the quality of life. So in medical personal statements, quality of life is mentioned so many times. In almost all of the examples that you'll see, everyone will have mentioned about quality of life and why they want to help improve the quality of life for people. I just want you to recognize that this is kind of followed on by the sentence. These elements, coupled with my interest in exploring human phenomena, are what led me to a career in medicine. So you've got to remember that yes, it's true that we're applying to medicine because we want to improve the quality of people's lives, but you have to remember that you could do that by many different ways. It doesn't have to be medicine, so you could improve the quality of life by being a social worker, you could be a police officer, you could be a teacher, you could be a mental health nurse. So I think saying you want to improve someone's quality of life isn't going to be enough. You have to kind of back it up with why do you specifically want to do that through the route of medicine? Why can't you do that in any other way? So I've just written about how I really find it interesting to explore human phenomena. In the next sentence, I say that the intellectually stimulating nature of this dynamic profession is something that attracts me, and that I'd like to use my problem-solving skills for the welfare of others. So again, just kind of making sure you have a good understanding of what medicine entails, that it's going to be intellectually stimulating, that it's going to require problem solving, and then say that that is something that you enjoy. So the next paragraph goes, my first-hand experience of the diversity that a doctor's profession encompasses comes from a week-long placement at a local hospital. A significant moment was at a respiratory outpatient clinic. I observed the doctor performing a check on a patient whom he had diagnosed with sarcoidosis over 20 years ago. This stressed to me the degree of commitment and dedication a doctor must have towards their patients and their job. I recognise that a tireless and goal-oriented mindset is what allows a doctor to persevere with their patients for so many years. It allowed me to truly understand that an immersive approach is needed to build and enhance meaningful relationships between a doctor and a patient. So in this part of the personal statement, I'm actually referring to an experience that I had when I was doing a taster program at a local hospital, and I initially wrote out like the exact full moment of what happened and what the doctor said to me, but my tutor in college made me take it out because it was a bit too long, and she'd rather me talk about my reflection on that moment and what I learned from the moment rather than the moment itself. It was a doctor that I saw at a clinic, a respiratory clinic, and he had a consultation with this patient. I saw him communicate like a friend more than a doctor, and it was just really lovely to see. But after the patient left, the doctor actually told me that he diagnosed this patient because he initially came in saying he was always out of breath when he was pushing his children. His two children is in their prams. That was his main concern that made him go to the GP and then to the respiratory physician, and that's how he was diagnosed with sarcoidosis. And he was just saying, I saw his kids the other day, and they're now like 19 and 20 years old. And I know it might not sound like much, but for me in that specific moment, I just thought, wow, like this person has known this patient for so long. He's literally not part of their family, but part of their journey in life. He's seen his children grow up, and he really knows his patient inside out. So that's why I specifically thought that moment was really memorable to me, and I wanted to write about it in my personal statement. So similar to this, I'd encourage you to write about something during your volunteering that you've come across, or during any shadowing or work placement that you've come across, something that in the same way as it was for me, something that's quite memorable to you, something that fascinated you, and just talk a little bit about that and talk about what it taught you about the relationship between a doctor and a patient. So the next paragraph, my desire to study medicine was further strengthened by the experiences I have had whilst volunteering since December 2016, 3 hours a week with a local dementia charity. Caring for the elderly who are suffering from different forms and severities of dementia has made me aware of each member's specific healthcare needs and allowed me to appreciate both the emotional and physical demands of caring for vulnerable people. It has taught me the importance of effective communication, and that this lies in communicating on their level of understanding with a warm and sympathetic approach. I have developed the skill to adapt the way I communicate according to the member's specific individual needs. and whilst this has been challenging at times, the opportunity to restore others is very rewarding. So this is a paragraph that I wrote about my experience in a caring role. Most medical schools will want you to have some sort of experience in a caring role, and most of them are not looking for many different short-term opportunities that you've had. Most of them will give you kind of more points for having a longer-term role in just one place rather than lots of different roles and lots of different work experiences in different places basically. So I volunteered at a dementia charity, and I got to see loads of people with lots of different types of dementia at lots of different ages. And the thing it helped me the most with is learning how to communicate with different people. Communication is something that you definitely have to write about in your personal statement. It's one of the key things that they're looking for from medical students. So I took this opportunity in this paragraph to talk about my communication skills and how I developed them and how I think I do have sufficient communication skills to be a medical student. So I talked about how working with patients with dementia, I realised that you have to communicate with people differently depending on their intellectual needs. You have to be warm, you have to be sympathetic, and you have to consider the patient's individual needs before you go and talk to them. If someone's hard of hearing, you're going to have to talk much slower. You might have to be more closer to them, lean in forward a little bit. You may have to talk louder. So just that kind of thing. You just want to have something in your personal statement that demonstrates that you know how to adapt your means of communication and that you know just how important it is to be able to communicate effectively. So in the next paragraph I've written, during my Bronze Duke of Edinburgh's award, navigating through unfamiliar places with new people has taught me how to demonstrate teamwork and collaboration even when I'm outside my comfort zone. I realise how vital reflection on actions and observations is for success. It has also allowed me to become a qualified first aider, a skill I was then able to use whilst being a leader in a campaign to deliver CPR and first aid tutorials to my whole college. I regularly demonstrate this leadership and team momentum at my part-time employment. I also learned to balance long hours of work with social and family life, making me aware of the time management and prioritisation challenges of a career as demanding as medicine. So this was kind of a paragraph in which I've talked about lots of different things. I'm just focusing here on making sure I get those keywords in, things like teamwork, collaboration, leadership. Why do I think I have all these qualities? Where have I demonstrated these qualities before? So if you've done Duke of Edinburgh, write about that. I know it's not really that relevant to something in a medical career, but it's something that universities like to see. I talk about reflection. If you've watched any of my last videos, you'll know that this is like one of the key words that medical schools love to see in personal statements, because as a medical student and as a doctor, you're going to be doing so much reflection. It's really nice for them to see someone who is already reflecting on themselves, learning from experiences that they've had. I've talked about the fact that I'm a qualified first aider. If you are a qualified first aider, then mention that it's something health related. It shows that you're already kind of thinking along those lines. You already have that skill. I talked about how I demonstrated leadership by teaching CPR to everyone else in my college. And then I just have one sentence there about the fact that I'm already in employment and I do have a part-time job. And that's helped me to kind of become aware of the challenges of time management and prioritization and kind of having that balance between work and college and family life. So if you are employed, that is something that is good to talk about. If you have any other hobbies, that's good to talk about as well. So second to last paragraph, I keep informed about current affairs in medicine, reading healthcare articles, watching online talks, and attending university lectures for aspiring medical students allow me to keep myself engaged in important issues and be updated on new ideas and innovation in medicine. The HE Plus sessions at college, in which we debated ethical issues such as funding and resource allocation in the NHS, have also helped me to achieve this. They have given me a secure understanding of the ethical and emotional challenges faced by doctors and taught me methods of respectful discourse and critical thinking. I have enjoyed reading a variety of non-fiction texts such as Understanding Disease, a health practitioner's handbook by John Ball, which have allowed me to explore the wonders of the body, in this example, the abundance of human disease. So this is a paragraph that I wanted to keep focused on kind of the ethics side of things, because of course medicine is to do with science, it's to do with the human body, but medicine has so much ethics in it. There's so many differences of opinion and just moral challenges that doctors face in making the decisions that they do in their everyday lives. So I wanted to show in my personal statement that I am aware of this aspect of medicine as well, and that I've taken these sessions in which we do these ethical debates. If you've done anything like that in the past, it's something really good to put into your personal statement. So I've made sure to mention things about funding and resource allocation, because that's always a hot topic in the NHS. I've also talked about the fact that it's taught me how to disagree with people respectfully, and I think that's something really important as well. In this paragraph, I've also put in an example of one of the books I've read, and make sure you don't put in the name of any book if you've not actually read it. That is one of the silliest things you could do, because of course it's very likely that they can ask you about your experience reading the book and things about the book, and they may have read it themselves as well. So definitely don't want to lie about that. If you haven't read any books, either read one really quickly to just put that into your personal statement, or just talk about other things you've done. So keeping up with the news is always a good thing. Reading any health articles, things like that, watching healthcare related TED Talks, that's always really good to put into your personal statement. It just shows you have a genuine interest in medicine. So this is my ending paragraph. I am aware that I will be committing myself to a career that comes with physical and mental exhaustion, persistent hard work and lifelong learning. However, the slightest improvement in the life of a patient is a reward enough to outweigh the challenges, and I'm driven to dedicate myself to this career with all my enthusiasm and integrity. So in your personal statement, you just want to end with something nice like that. Talk about how despite all the things that you've mentioned, despite all of the challenges, despite the lifelong learning, the hard work that's going to go into it, despite the hard work-life balance, you still want to go ahead with medicine, and you do understand what kind of you're getting yourself into, basically. I do also want to say that to take this opportunity whilst writing your personal statement to kind of evaluate whether or not you really want to do medicine. Of course, like most of you will want to do medicine, and that's why you're working so hard on your personal statement, but there will be the odd few people out there that are still kind of unsure, and I think if you just sit there writing out these few paragraphs about why you think you're suited to medicine, what attracts you about it, whether or not you think you can deal with all of the tough aspects of it, I think it really helps you to evaluate and understand whether it is really for you. So just imagining yourself as a medical student whilst writing this, it's a really good opportunity for you to really confirm your choice, basically. And that is all, guys. That is my personal statement. I've really tried my best to go through each of the things I've written down and why I've mentioned all of the things that I've mentioned and what I think is important. I hope it was helpful for you. Thank you so much for watching this video. Like I said at the start, if there's anything in particular that you want to see a video about, please let me know. I'm only going to be trying my best to make videos that I think you'll like, but obviously if you can tell me directly, that would be even better. Please subscribe to the channel and like this video if you liked it. Good luck with all of your applications. I'm sure you're doing an amazing job. Keep going, keep up all the hard work, and I'll see you in the next video.